Hey guys, how's it going? All right, welcome back to another Stash Builder collaboration hosted by Misty Delaney. This is for August 2025 if you're watching this at a later date. So I will leave Misty's link in the channel, in the description box below, and you can check out her video as well as anyone else that is playing along this month. And all right, I'm going to put that there so it heads off just a little bit. Okay, there we go. And where you make several cards and in whatever theme you happen to need and get your stash built up, because we truly, as stampers, most of the time anyway, definitely need a good stash. Things pop up, life happens, so it's always good to have some extra birthday cards, extra sympathy cards, extra everything. So we are going to use this Simon Says stamp here, and it's called Sunflower Field. It does come with dies, but it didn't do a die for this big one, and it's kind of a bummer because I don't know, somehow in my mind I thought it did, but I guess not. That's okay. The way life's been going lately, it's all good. It is all good. I'm happy to be back in the craft room. It's been a whirlwind of several days here. Okay, let's stamp that one more time. We, let's see, what day was it? This past Sunday, we went to Roanoke, Virginia, and to see a concert. And of course, the night before, my dogs were barking and going crazy at some deer across the way here. And let me just give that a really good press. Still not getting that part. Okay. Oh, nope, not right there. No, I think I need to ink that part a little bit more. So yeah, the dogs, everything's like really grown up around here now, and I have some neighbors that are gone and different things. So the dogs are definitely, like seeing lots of things and telling us about it all night long. So I'm just going to go ahead and do 2 of these while I've got it out, because that is part of the stash builder life. But anyway, so I didn't have much sleep that night, and all right, hopefully this will be all inky. I gotta emboss it, so but anyway, so we got up early, left to go to the concert. It was a few hours away, and but we ran into like random things, like I got a different phone, so I didn't realize I didn't have the thing that makes my like battery pack work or whatever, an extra cord, and I definitely wanted to keep my phone charged because my dad had pulled a muscle in his back. He was still getting around okay, I mean, as okay as he typically does, but I don't know. Anyway, I was just a little concerned extra, so I wanted to just make sure I had the phone. It's still not doing that. Had my phone on me at all times, you know what I mean? And okay, we're good now. We're good. All right, let's get this embossed. Got to get some powder on it before it like dries up. Hopefully I've still got enough powder to get me through here, embossing powder, till I go out Monday and am near Michael's. This is the Recollections brand, which is the clear powder that I really like the best. But all right, give it a little flick. And well, I'll tell you what. because it's drying, we'll just do it on this and pour it down and hope for the best. Scoop a little around. Not the most professional look, but hey, you don't come to this channel for professional stamping, so that's okay. All right. Now to get what little we have back in here. I can't believe that, I don't know, it's like it never used to go that fast. And I didn't think I was really stamping much, but maybe I've just been embossing more lately. I don't know, but it's like that. Okay, so before I continue, I'm just going to start up the heat gun. This will take a few minutes, so get a sip of tea or whatever. And I have to turn the heat gun on. I'm sorry. Whew, that seems long. Does it seem long to y'all? Seems long to me. Okay, I think I hit everything though. I don't feel any places I missed. Okay, so I did go ahead and pre-emboss some happy birthday sentiments, and the one I'm using is, where is it? Well, I'm going to use that embossing folder, and here it is. Just also a sunflower stamp set, but just some nice little sentiments along the side. And all right, so here we go. Oh, guess what? I got this this little marker set from Five Below, and they're pastel colors. I was so excited. I don't have many pastels, and so yeah, I was excited. Plus, it's got these two in it as well, and that's the two that we're using today. My goodness. So anyway, we're just going to color and chat a little bit, and we'll go in with probably a darker marker. At least that's what I'm planning. Must emboss quite a bit there. Anyway, so back to the the concert. And actually, right before I left the house, I was also in frantic mode because my cousin had called from out of state, and she was here visiting her father, and wanted to come by and visit. So I wasn't going to be here. I knew Dad didn't feel like it or whatever. House was a little messy. And so I was trying to make a mad dash and, clean up just a little bit, make sure the kitchen and the bathroom, and the living room are the biggest areas they would see, I feel like. So giving those the old, quick 1-2 kind of thing. And so I was just slinging stuff in closets in the bedroom and whatever, and hoping that they wouldn't be by before. I didn't even answer the phone, to be honest. It's so bad. Because she thought he was at church anyway when we didn't answer, which he was. And this is not, I don't know if I've embossed it so much or it's just not, or the markers or what, but I don't know. Maybe the other marker will go better. So anyway, but they did come by and whatever, and that was fine. It worked out, it was okay. But I just wanted to kind of help him out so he wouldn't be trying to do stuff or whatever with his back and that kind of thing. So then we had to stop at Five Below on the way, like I said, and get me a cord. And I ran into one of my kids' parents there, and her cat had died and this and that. So she was telling me about all that. And like you can't like just be like, hey, I gotta go, I mean, she knows I'm an animal lover and all of the things. So and I did really feel for them. I feel like, so did my boyfriend. He's definitely a cat person, but he was ready to go. And we had planned to go to a really nice dinner and all that at one of our favorite places there in Roanoke, and that was a bust. But anyway, so I talked to her for a little bit, and so we got back on the road. Well, then we ran into a wreck on the interstate, but luckily there was like a side road, and he had lived down there before and knows his way around very well. So we took luckily we were like right near an exit ramp, and that took us to this little side road, and it was I've got a little bit of embossing powder up there. Like something's coming off. I should have. Sometimes if you emboss the other side, it won't bend as much, but I apparently did not do that. All right, so I'm just going to go in and hit here and there. Actually, this marker covers way, way, way better than that one. I don't know what's up with that one. I don't know. Maybe you get what you pay for, right? Sometimes I feel like the Five Below markers are good, and sometimes not so much. So the other ones I thought were pretty decent, and then one set I got, and not so much. But I do like having like sort of an assortment of colors and all that. So, but anyway, so we got off that road, but it took us a lot longer the way we were having to go on all the little side roads or whatever. But it was still better than being stuck on the interstate for who knows how long. I mean, they can get it cleared up in 20-30 minutes at times, and then sometimes it will be hours. And it was, way backed up. We could already tell. So anyway, we didn't actually have tickets because I told you my boyfriend took a teacher buddy of mine to have surgery, and earlier in the week or whatever, and he didn't know for sure if he was going to get out of the hospital or if he was going to have to go get him or different things, but it worked out where we could go, and we were just hoping. Wow, I got powder all over my fingers. Maybe that's where all the powder's coming from. But it turned out we could go. We were just hoping that they would have tickets. So we really needed to be near the box office, when it opened or whatever. And so we didn't have long to kill. It started a little bit earlier than normal because there was 3 acts. There was some girl, and then the main act was Blackberry Smoke, which is kind of like a Southern rock sort of whatever. But to be honest, seeing them in person, and he did tell me that, but I really didn't believe it. um, they're actually more rock in person, but they're sold as more Southern rock, if that makes sense. I don't know. But anyway, and then the girl, like I said, I can't remember her name, but she was good. But I call it the real opening act. The second act, I guess, was the Dirty Knobs. And I really, really like them. It had some name, like the guy's name and the Dirty Knobs. I don't know. But anyway, Mike somebody or something. Anyway, he used to be the guitarist for Tom Petty. And he has a very Tom Petty sound, and I love Tom Petty. He was awesome. And unfortunately, he passed away, but he was fabulous. And so it was, and he did a couple of Petty songs, and so I was thrilled with that. I loved it. And he had a really cool look, kind of very unique, but I just closed my eyes and it was like being in a Tom Petty concert. I loved it. So, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do one of these just while we chat. I'm going to have it stick up here a little bit. Like I said, I did use that embossing folder. And so I'm going to try this one, just kind of sticking up there. I would have liked to have another layer, but I don't know. So I don't know if I'm going to use white or yellow. Maybe the yellow. But anyway, so we knew dinner was already bust, and that was sad, but we were really looking forward to that. We were like eaters, totally. I'm looking for tape, and yeah, I don't see any. Oh, it's behind the markers. Okay. So, yeah, it's going to have to go that way, I think. Okay, anyway, sorry. I get off track, and then y'all know how I do, go down the rabbit hole, but I'm trying to focus better. Not that you can tell, but I really am. So we ended up, there was a McDonald's, like, right across from the Civic Center. And I told him that, like, let's just do that. That'll be fine. And then he said, well, I think there's a Wendy's on down here, too. And then he said, he's like, well, Wendy's has better burgers, and I'm like, that's fine. Let's get whatever. And so we went, and there were, I don't have anything against homeless people. I actually really like them. He fusses at me all the time for, like, talking to them and this, especially if they have a dog, then I'm, like, all about them, trying to go see the dog and whatever. This time, they were, like, you're down on your luck and you're homeless, that's one thing, like, it can happen to everybody. And, I feel like we're all one paycheck away from living in a cardboard box anyway, or at least maybe that's just me. But, anyway, but these were definitely not just down on your luck homeless people. They were all definitely heavy drug users, let's say. So, and it was like there were lots of homeless people outside. I didn't even feel good about going in, but we did go in. And so then we stood there. There were only two guys in front of us in line, and there were some other guys sitting over there, and then this woman kept, like, walking around, kind of blitzed out of her mind. And there was one lady running the poor register. I don't know where all the cooks were. Literally, I mean, I think she might have been the only one working. And then one guy, he was just like, he was trying to, I guess, get a refill for his drink. And he kept yelling, the pop machines aren't working, the pop machines aren't working, you know, you gotta fill them up or whatever. Anyway, so, and we kept waiting and waiting, and like the guys in front of us were still, they had placed their order, like they were both done and waiting, but it had been a while, and it just kept getting creepier and creepier. And I thought, man, you know, I don't really don't feel like getting mugged tonight and whatever. I want to go to the show. And so, they were just, I don't know. It just didn't have a good feel. And there just kept being more and more people coming in. They were all like, just, I don't know, just looked like a bunch of meth heads to me. And I felt like they were closing in on us. And so finally he was like, well, I mean, we're never going to get any food. Do you want to just leave and go to McDonald's? I'm like, yeah, I think I do. So we did. And which is where we should have just went to start with. And it's literally like not far away from the Civic Center. I felt like it should be packed with more, like, I guess Civic Center goers at the time, but it definitely was not. I guess they had the inside scoop on that, but we did not. So McDonald's, now there were a lot of homeless people outside, like sitting on the grass and bikes and things, and you know, I mean, you're in the city, it's gonna happen. And but they, I don't know, they just seem like nicer homeless people, if that makes sense. Like, just, I don't know, not like they're gonna slit your throat kind of homeless guys, you know. And but people, I'd be like, hey, what's up, how you doing? So, but none of them had dogs, so hey, I just kept to myself. But anyway, that's beside the point. All right, I think that is good. I might add, I did bring out some bling here, so I may add that and some splatter and maybe some, I might trace around it with the sparkles, you know, or something, but we'll do that in a few minutes. I want to move on to the next one. I did do this one already, and I'm going to kind of go back over it some. So I was trying to do this marker first, and it was kind of hit and miss, you know, with the yellow. I did the yellow kind of second on this, so yeah. This is a way better coverage thing. And I embossed them both, so I don't think it's that. But anyway, so then we went to McDonald's, and we didn't have much time at that point. We had to really like scarf it down and head to the ticket booth. And so, and I'm just going to say this for later on in the story, okay? I order things plain a lot, or with not much on it. Like, if I get a cheeseburger, I might get like the cheese and the burger, okay? Nothing else. And that's the way you want it, right? If you order it that way, or sometimes I'll just be like, I want a plain hamburger, or I don't like lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, mustard, ketchup, all the things on it. Now I will eat, like, y'all don't even need to know what I eat. I don't know why I'm saying this, but I like ketchup on a plain hamburger, but I don't like it with cheese or anything like that on it then. But I will eat a cheeseburger or some bacon on it or something. Anyway, I'm weird, I know. But I want it how I order it, right? Like, I work hard for my money, and I'm kind of getting tired of just getting wrong orders literally all the time. And I also love pickles, but I do not want pickles on my sandwich. Okay, I can eat a gallon of pickles if you set them in front of me, okay? Like nobody's business. But I don't want them on the sandwich. So, all right. I think, I don't know. I'm thinking we're going to go white with that one. Actually, we could just turn it into yellow if we wanted to exactly match our marker. So anyway, the lady asked me, I was like, okay, I just want the whatever chicken sandwich, blah, blah, blah meal, but I want it plain, like the bread and the meat. Like, I specifically said, and so she's like, do you want pickles? I said, no, definitely no pickles, no pickles. So I was very clear. And so I sat down. I have 2 pickles. And it's not a huge deal. Like, yes, I can take them off and eat them, which I did because we didn't have much time. I didn't feel taking it back because we're in such a hurry. We barely had time to chew anyway. But I wonder if we should put it somewhere else. Still needs to go there somehow. Glue. Okay. So just remember that for later in the story. Anyway, I took the pickles off, whatever. My boyfriend's like, well, you can't even taste them. It's only 2 pickles. And I wanted to say, yes, I can. I tasted pickles every single bite. But I didn't. I mean, you just roll with it and whatever. It's fine. But, like I said, just remember that. So, the show was awesome. It was very long. They even said, though, I mean, they gave us the heads up. They were like, I hope you got a sitter because this one's going to be a long one. We're here all night, whatever. But it was really from like 6:30. We went in about 6. And, but we were technically in our seats from 6:30 to 11, which most shows typically end at like 10 or so. So, I don't know, maybe I'm just getting old. But, yeah, this just does not give me the coverage somehow. But I still want that pop of yellow, so I'm still going to go with it. And I'll fill in with the other. But anyway, like I said, it was a really good show, and we enjoyed it. And, but sitting there that long, oh my gosh, was killing me. And, we also spent, he clocks everything. I think it's a man thing, I don't know. He like does our mileage and checks how long we've been in the car and our actual drive time, and he's always calculating everything. And so we had actual drive time, we had spent 7.5 hours. And so that combined with from 6:30 to 11, whatever that is, that's just a lot of sitting, I feel like, and my legs could tell. And so, oh well. But anyway, so then that night, we got home about 3:30 or so that morning, and I think I just did these that same color, didn't I, maybe? But anyway, so it was late, and suddenly my father is in a super chatty mood. So he wants to tell me about the visit with my cousin and her father and the kids and things. And and I was about to fall over, and but I was listening, and I mean, I wanted to hear about it and things, but I also really wanted to sleep because the following morning on Monday I had my car appointment. And I had to get back up early because I had to do some things and take care of the dogs and all that beforehand. And so I had about maybe 3 hours sleep at the most that night. And so I made it up to the car place and been waiting on this for a while, and thrilled to get it fixed. And so I pull into the dealership, and if you watch my channel, this lady who works there, she kind of runs the front desk, and she runs everything. They can't make it without her. Well, and you know how frazzled the worker was the last time I was there, and whatever. So they couldn't do anything without her. And anyway, so this time I'm like, okay, great, she is there. I am thrilled. This is going to be a good day. So we get there. Oh, no, I'm sorry, she's not there. Sorry, that's the next day. There's the next day. We get there, she's not there. That's the point of that story. And the guy's super frazzled again, and apparently this is a thing with him and her kid. Last time it was her that was sick. This time it was her kid that was sick. And so he he took my car immediately or whatever. He's like, you dropping off or staying? Or I was like, no, I'll just drop it off, you know. And he said, well, I'll call you as soon as it's ready. I said, okay, great. I'm going to go up here and have some lunch and, you know, whatever. And so my friend Amy picked me up, and so we went up to Chili's and had a really long lunch. And he wrote my phone number down, which, I mean, my phone number's in the system. He can never get in the system, so it doesn't really matter. But my phone number is on the sheet and all that. I see that too. And he writes it down sort of sideways, my cell number, on the calendar. And he's like, yep, I'll call you as soon as it's done. I'm like, all right, thank you, you know. So, la, 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 he go off, and he hadn't called and hadn't called and hadn't called. We had this really long lunch. And even for us, I mean, we sit there for a long time normally and chat, but this was even longer. And so then I was like, well, he still hasn't called, you know, we'll do a little shopping. Went over to Cato and went to Sally's and different things. I was going to check out some new Halloween nail polish and different things. But so I was pretty good. I didn't buy anything. But so then it's literally almost closing time. And so I said, well, let's just go on back. I mean, they're either like not going to get it finished today, or I don't know, you know, like they're done and they forgot or whatever. So I get back and I go in and I'm like, well, you know, it's sitting outside. So I guess it's finished or what? He's like, oh yeah, I forgot to call you. I'm sorry. We got slammed, you know, and the same story he always gives. And so that's fine. You know, I'm like, okay. A little bit annoyed because I was super tired and I really wanted to go on home. But, you know, you just deal with it and whatever and go on. You just, whatever. Like, what can you do, you know? And so then he's like, I got a favor to ask you. I'm like, oh, God. He said, could you just go ahead and pay your deductible today? And he said, I don't know how to get in the system, the computer, and to close you out or whatever. And he said, I promise, you know, I'll have her mail you a receipt and everything. And which is rather annoying. I mean, it's only $100, but still, you know, I feel like he's not super dependable. Nice guy though. I mean, it's not that he's dishonest. I don't like not trust him that way. He's not that kind of guy. He's just very haphazard, and he can't, like I said, can't handle things with the girl gone. And so, and I had also asked about my, I told him, yeah, I was like, all right, I knew it would never get mailed to me. And, but I thought, no, whatever, I'll stop by and get it one day when she's here, you know. I wasn't like that naive. And, so, okay, I did the other one. This side didn't emboss quite as well, but it'll be okay. Tape. So, I get in the car, and, well, I'll also ask about my oil changes that they couldn't find in the system last time, because remember, he just, like, gave me the free one and trusted me or whatever, because I said, well, when I bought the car, they said, you know, I got 3 free oil changes and a detailing, because I bought it late one night and they didn't have time to detail or whatever. Well, anyway, when I got up to the counter that time, he was like, oh, it's $75 or whatever. And I'm like, well, no, I'm going to use one of those free ones. He's like, what free one? And so anyway, so he was supposed to, like, have her find it or whatever. Well, he's like, I said, did you find it and, you know, put it in the computer for me or whatever? And from my salesman and all that. He's like, no, I'm going to get her on that, though. I'm going to get her on that one as soon as she gets back. And I'm like, okay. And again, I thought, I'll be taking care of that, but alrighty. And so I go just down the road because, you know, I just want to check everything out and make sure everything's working and whatever. And it is. everything seems like it's gonna be okay. I think I will use this one. Glue, I guess. So I go almost, I don't know, about an hour and 15 minutes or so on my way home, and because the dealership is quite a ways away, you know, decent. And anyway, so I'm almost home, and I have this weird light come on, and I hit a, not hit, I was just pulling off the road to, I mean, I was going like 5 miles an hour, just pulling over to where my boyfriend lives. And so I like came off the railroad track or whatever, and like down the dip or whatever. It's not like a massive hole or anything, and you're just coming off the road, and a light came on, and it was a triangle with an exclamation point in there. And I was like, oh my God, what's that? And so my boyfriend was like sitting there at his car, and so I like motioned him over. I'm like, hurry, hurry, come here. And so I thought maybe it was my tire or something like that, like a low tire. I don't know. But I'd just never seen it before. And so he came over, and I mean, it had just been, all this happened in a matter of like 60 seconds or something, and the light went off. So he didn't get to see it. But anyway, like, it's etched in my mind. So then I get my book out and all this stuff, and I'm trying to find the light. Every light, there's 1,000 lights it could be, right? But every light means something in your car, like your battery light, the tire pressure light, the whatever light, I don't know, except this one. This is the only light, yay me. This is the only light that could mean lots of things. So, it's normally accompanied with another light, which it was not, but it could mean anything from your gas cap being, not tightened, to I can't remember what all it said. Does something like really bad though. So, all right. So here is the 3 for now. And then we're going to keep going because I want to try one other thing. All right, I have to have that all my life. I don't know why. All right, so I'm going to try some squeeze lemonade and one of these. And I'm going to try it on these. So I don't know if I want to do the stamping first, or I don't know. Well, I'm going to do a couple of different things, so give me a second here. All right. Turn around. I keep these behind me now. It's kind of handy. So the first one I'm going to start with is this. And the second one, we're just going to add quite a bit of color. So I want to get at least 5 today is my goal. Yeah, that color will work. So anyway, I'm very, very annoyed. I come on home, the light doesn't come back on or anything. But my father's like, well, something's wrong. Like, they've not done something or hooked something back up, or, maybe it's just some little something, but you need to get it on record or whatever, like, in case it does come back on, so it's still, like, maybe covered under my warranty or whatever. So I'm just exhausted, and I want to go to bed so bad, but life happens. Different things came up that evening, and I couldn't go to bed that evening either. So now I'm not good when I'm sleepy and cranky. Plus, I'm starting my period. I'm cramping like nobody's business ever since I've got off the birth control pills, because they were killing me, apparently, giving me blood clots. My periods have been kind of rough, and so way more cramping. And all right, so I want this little white area here. Kind of, I'm hoping anyway. So I'm just not in a good mood, right? And I also, by the way, I forgot the best part. Wait, was that the second day? Heck, I don't even know. No, it was the first day. Wait, I forgot a big part. Hang on. So I pull out and I go over to Bojangles, and which is like a chicken place or whatever. And I'm going to bring my father home some chicken and like a chicken dinner or whatever. Well, my father, like with KFC, he's just always devastated now because they have taken the slaw out of the meal. It used to always come with mashed potatoes and gravy, a coleslaw, a biscuit, and whatever chicken you ordered, like 2-piece, 3-piece, whatever. And so now you have to pay extra for it. And he just, you'd think that was just the end of the world to him. And so I wanted to, you know, you could pick two sides with this. So I was excited because, you know, I could get his slaw and I could tell him, no, it didn't cost any more. It's okay. And he just hates that. I just don't know. So I got that. I just wanted to not cook for a couple of days. And so I got us a couple of chicken biscuits each. And, or no, like one each, you know. I got 2 chicken biscuits, is what I'm trying to say. And I got 2 chicken dinners. And so I thought, okay, awesome, you know, like that'll be great. I won't have to cook. It's all good. And is that over enough, you think? I want to leave room for a sentiment. I think that'll be okay. So let me slide it up here so you can actually see. So okay, so I leave Bojangles and I pull back on the road, and I haven't set up my new phone with my car yet, right? The Bluetooth. And so, but I call him to tell him about the car, and I was fussing a bit because they hadn't called me, and I was sleepy, and I'd planned on being already home, you know. And so I was like blah 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 or whatever, and I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention, but I just pulled out of a red light, and so we were like, you know how you're pulling out, but nobody's really going yet, like you're still going pretty slow because nobody's taken off too much. So I look over beside of me, and oh, and by the way, so normally I still hold my phone kind of down, like at my stomach. Just, I don't know, it's just comfortable that way. It's not like, I'm not trying to hold it up at my head, which I guess you shouldn't do. But that's just where I hold it, right? And so that's kind of looking yucky on the side, isn't it? Nothing I can really do about that now, though. Not really. Okay. So anyway, I'm looking over to the side, and but I couldn't hear my father, and it had this like echo or something. So I hung up and called him back. And all this, I was doing that like when I was sitting at the red light. And so then I hung up, called him back. I still heard the echo, so I took mine off speaker, and that's when I put it up to my ear. Well, again, like I said, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Oh my gosh, they didn't even call me. Da, 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 da. And, okay, that looks all right, I guess. Okay, so let's do something with this for a minute. I do want to add just a little bit of these brush marks in there too. I swear, sometimes these are hard to get off. So I look over to my left, and I start seeing Trooper down the side. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I look over a little bit more, turn my head to him. I'm like, shit. And he's just like, literally, because we're not really, like I said, going too much at that point. and he's like leaned up, like looking at me smiling. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so busted. So you're supposed to be hands free on the road and not talking or whatever. So I just sort of smile and slowly kind of just turn back. I didn't put the phone down or anything. I just kept talking. I thought, well, I mean, I've had it now. Like, no point in whatever. So, like, I can't act like I wasn't doing it. I don't have it. Like, he saw me plain as day and he's laughing. And so he just slides over in gently behind me and zoom, blue lights me. I'm like, oh my God. I said, Dad, I've got to go. And he's like, well, blah, 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 one more thing. I'm like, no, I really have to hang up now. I will call you back. And so, uh-oh, I'm getting my hand in the ink. My little ink spot. Shoot. Anyway, so he gets out, comes to the passenger side or whatever, because we're on the road, and that's good for his safety at least. So he's like, have you never heard of Bluetooth? And I was like, look, I don't even have it set up. I don't even know how to do it in this car. I said, look, I pretended my father called me. I was like, look, don't you have a daddy? When your daddy calls, you have to answer, okay? I was like, I know it's wrong. I'm sorry, but I can't not check on my dad. And so he's like, well, you look like you're fussing. What are you fussing about? And I was like, because I was at the car place. And so anyway, I just start telling him. And he's like, well, what'd you have done? And I'm telling him, and I was like, I don't even know what it's called. It does this, and then it wouldn't ding. And anyway, and I was like, they didn't even call me and whatever. And I was like, but never mind that. Anyway, but when he asked me about the Bluetooth, I also told him, I was like, here, you want to set it up for me? And he's like, yeah. He's like, press me and you. And so, okay, and this was my whatever, to be dumb. I was like looking at the wheel. I know it's not there, okay? I know it's over on the, where the radio is. But I was like, okay, where? And he's like, no, over here. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I pushed that, now what? He's like, oh, never mind. I guess he thought, okay, you're an idiot. And so, okay, I gotta find stamping block. A little stamp. All right, this one does not have to be a birthday. It could be, how about delightfully beautiful? I like let's celebrate you, though. I don't think I could fit that. I really don't think I can fit any of them. Except maybe Happy Day. Huh. Well, what else do I have over here? Hang on. Oh, that'll be nice. Thank you. Sending sunshine. Thinking of you. Hello. Get well soon. How about just hello? That way I can send it to anybody, anytime, any place. So anyway, so then he read my license order. He's like, well, I guess you got a license, right? I was like, well, I guess I do. And so I handed it to him or whatever, and anyway, he's like, oh, you're from so-and-so, I'm like, yeah. And he said, what are you doing up here? And anyway, he's like, oh, yeah, the car, okay. And anyway, so he had, I think I've seen him before. I don't really know. I think he might work down here or have worked down here one time or something. But anyway, so we laughed about a couple of other things, and but he was pleasant, so that was nice. But he's like, well, I'm gonna let you off with a warning or whatever, and he's like, get that Bluetooth fixed. And I'm like, I will, I promise. And so anyway, I thought, oh my Lord, the car and no sleep, and now I'm getting a ticket and blah blah blah, and which I didn't, but I could have, almost. And And the funny thing was, I was almost late going up, and I was driving, well, I was doing some driving, we'll say. I thought, great, that is not when I even get a ticket. I don't get stopped for flying like a maniac, but I get stopped for going 2 miles an hour on the phone. But, you know, my fault. I shouldn't have been on there. So anyway, I waited till he pulled out to get back on the phone and call my dad and be like, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and so finished my rant about the car stuff, and now added that. So, and Dad's like, you better hang up. But I'm like, it'll be okay. But, so anyway, that was that. And then, so I get home. Okay, well, the chicken from Bojangles is literally like minuscule. It is so tiny. It is, I mean, the chicken leg might as well be in like, you know, when you order it like wings, like the leg and the wing, it may as well just be in that because there was not much to it. And dun, 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 they forgot the coleslaw. Oh my God. So I was ticked. And I don't, like I said, don't normally care for myself, but I wanted it for my father, and then that's a whole different ballgame. So, all right, I'm going to put this to the side. We're going to do something with that probably in a few minutes. I don't know. We might just put it on here. I was going to do a black background, but kind of like that. Okay, so for this one, we are going to, don't know which green for sure, but I do want to do it with the yellow. Oh, and also with CarPlace. I feel like there's so many levels to this, my whininess today. I have 3 keys with my car, right? And the keys, I know they're not cheap. I was thrilled to get 3 because the last owner had just made another one, right? And normally, you know, they only give you 2. And so he handed me my 2 new keys when, you know, I was checking out or whatever, or kind of checking out. And I was like, what about my 3rd key? And he's like, oh, we're only approved to do 2 or whatever. He's like, but I can cut you another one for $400. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, no. And so I'm like, let me think about it. But that was definitely no, you know. You just don't want to be like, I'm so poor, I can't do that. I'm sorry. And so anyway, okay, so the light, like I said, was on. So I knew I had to go back the following morning. And so I still didn't hardly get in bed very good that night. And to get up like super early. I told you I live like about an hour and a half or so, something like that, away from the CarPlace. So I had to get up, but I decided that I was gonna, like, I just wanted it to be covered. Like, I don't even care that something is wrong or that whatever. I just feel like it was not my fault. I did not mess it up, so I don't want to pay to fix it. Let me get another brush, just a second. Okay, I think I'll do that one for that one. I think these are like the same color brush. I don't know. Well, let's just test it there. Well, that is the peacock feathers. Well, those look quite similar. Well, okay. Okay, I'm going to go with this one. So I guess I'll do the bottom. Anyway, okay, so I had to get up at the crack of dawn to be up there when they opened. And I didn't want to call and whatever and then be like, well, I can't work in. Or I was just like, you're going to fix it, you know. So I got up even earlier because normally I just roll up in my summer get up, I call it, put my hair up in my hat and, you know, my shorts on and whatever and just go. Well, I decided that if I was going to bitch and moan and whatever and take somebody out, that was the mood I was in by that point. I was like, that, you know, I thought, you're going to fix this or neither of us are making it out here, buddy. And so I decided I should look more professional if I'm going to argue or anything, right? And have to demand whatever. So I went back, and that's when I walked in, and I was like, all right, the girl is back. So I was thrilled to see her. I thought, okay, we can get this going. And so he asked me, what was wrong or whatever. And I told him, nicely at that point. And so he took it back immediately. He's like, oh, it's probably just a code they forgot to clear or something. And so I was talking to the girl, and I said, well, can you go ahead and give me a receipt or whatever from yesterday that he couldn't check me out or whatever. And she's like, oh, I know, he struggles, and he's like the manager of the service department, but I think he just really works with the service, nothing to do with any computer of any kind. And so I understand that. We all got our strong points, but, it's hard when you're just, sometimes I think you just expect a little bit more from the dealership, because, like, if I was going to my local town garage, I would totally expect all this, like for them to forget to call me, for them to, the whole 9 yards, like, I totally, but I feel like this is a step above, and that's why you take it there for service and that kind of thing. And so, but, it just doesn't always work out. But anyway, so she gave me the receipt and everything. So I asked her, I said, well, were you able to check on the, my oil changes or whatever? And she was like, yeah. She's like, I think we got those. I think it's fine. And I said, okay. I was like, well, can you see it in the computer and everything? She's like, oh, we don't actually just put it in there. We just put it in your file, And I'm like, okay. I thought, okay, I need a copy of this for sure. I said, well, I'm just going to go ahead and get a copy for my records. And that way, just in case you're not here, they just can't seem to make it without you. So, I'll just go ahead and get a copy of that. And so, come to find out, she didn't have it. So, which is basically what I figured. And I feel like that's a little crooked. I don't know. Maybe not. So she had to go talk to the car salesman or whatever and get a copy of it. And which I should have just had to start with, I guess. Made sure myself, which I will do in the future. But so she handed it to me. She gave me a copy, and it said 2, and 2 left. Or no, it said, let's see, 2 free oil changes and 1 left, because I'd used one, not too long ago. And I'm like, no, that's wrong. I said it was supposed to be 3 free oil changes and the detailing. And the detailing was on there. And so she's like, well, this is your exact printout, And she's like, you'll have to talk to Brandon or whatever, the finance guy. And that's who told you, whatever. I'm like, well, where's he at? And and I know where his office is, right? Like, so, but I thought she would call him up or walk me back there, something more professional. But, of course not. So I was like, well, you want me to just head on back? She's like, yeah. And so then I passed, like, another salesman kind of sitting outside of his office. And I was like, can you tell me if Brandon's back there? And, of course, I can, like, already see his head. I've already seen him there that day. And, but still, I'm just trying to be, polite and whatever. And he's like, yeah, I think he's back there. And he just sits there. I'm like, okay, let me just go on back, I guess. So I walk in. I'm like, hi, how you doing? anyway, so I told him, and he's like, he pulled it up then. He's like, well, yeah, it says here too. I said, and I know they don't remember, but I don't care. That's what he told me. Like, I don't want any more or any less than what I was promised, because there were weirdly two important things to me with the car. Well, three. One, it had a CD player still, and which is very hard to find. Two was fast windshield wipers. Don't ask. I hate driving in the rain. And the third thing was I want free oil changes, several. And so, whatever. It's just my little thing, right? Okay, I'm going to switch this out. So then, this one I'm going to do Delightfully Beautiful. And that's not going to fit on the box. So anyway, so I was like, do you remember you were sitting there, I was sitting here, my father was over here, like it was late at night, da, 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 da. And I was like, remember I tried to talk you into 4, but you'd only give me 3. And anyway, so he was like, oh, okay, I'll put it on here, I'll just give you 1. And I'm like, I wanted to be like, Jack, listen, don't act like you're giving me anything, because you're not. And like, this is what you said. I can't help that you were the dimwit that didn't put it in the computer or whatever else, but I'm going by what you said, and I want my, granted, it's only like, to me, an oil change is high for $75, but it's only one oil change, but it matters. It's just one of those things, And so, okay. So if we add that to this, let me just add the color to that too. I'm going to do this one in the brighter green for the stems and the leaves. I think. So anyway, I was aching still. I was whatever, like, so then the guy in the back comes out, says my car's ready, and he's like, oh yeah, it was just they didn't clear the codes. So on the printout though, it said, and I wish I'd have brought it in here because I guess the story's pointless now without me telling you what was actually wrong. But it was nothing major, but it was some kind of circuit that was open or something left open on my windshield wiper turn thing. I don't know, whenever they put it back together. But it was something they had left undone, but he didn't mention that. He just said it was codes. And, but I asked him, I was like, so I said, okay, thanks or whatever. And I said, I said, is there a printout, for that? And because if you have service, I feel like you should get some kind of printout. He's like, oh, no, I just fixed it for you. And I was like, well, that's great, but can I get that just, written up or whatever? And I was like, just make sure you put what light was on and that kind of thing. So he wrote it up and she types it. And I know they think like I'm being so particular or something, but I feel like it already wasn't covered under my warranty. Like I had to get it under my extended warranty, which luckily I got. But, like I just don't want anything to be wrong. And it's like, no big deal because it's not coming out of their pocket. But, I don't know. But anyway, so I just wanted it on there so things may be covered or whatever if something happens in the future, because forgive me if I'm not like super trusting with them, I guess. And but anyway, so he wrote it up or whatever, and I thought, yeah, you didn't even mention that, but I think that's what it was. But anyway, so I don't even know if the car is truly fixed at that point. Like, is it really going to come back on? Is that really what it was? I don't know. Like, only time will tell, and I still don't know. I mean, I guess it did okay on the way home, and I've driven it around now a little bit, and so I guess it's okay. We'll I guess, know eventually. So then I decided, since I'm back there anyway. Oh, and he also said he did top off all my fluids or whatever he said. And basically, but he'd already done that the other day. So it's not like whatever. But anyway, he did put gas in it. So that was good. But I didn't actually need that much. But it was nice, you know. And my dad's like, well, did you thank them? Did you? I said, well, I mean, I said, thanks. But I said, Dad, honey, I had to come back up there the following day for their mistake. So, you know, why should I be so, oh, thank you so much, like, for putting gas in it that you caused anyway. So, I don't know. And, but anyway, like I said, I was in a moody mood already, and it's just one of those things. But, so I went over to Bojangles. I had my receipt still in my purse, and I thought, you know what? No, I'm not dealing with. He already messed up my pickles at McDonald's the other day. But this happens, like, all the time. Like, I'm so tired of this. And it probably comes out more around the time I'm on my period and cramping and whatever else. But that's just when it happened to be, you know. And, so I went in and told them, like, blah, blah, blah. And they gave me, I have to say, yay for Bojangles. Like, very fabulous customer service. They gave me the entire meal again. So I would have settled for just the meal for my father with the slaw. That was fine, you know. But they gave me the whole thing. So I thought that was very nice. So I got 2 dinners and 2 chicken biscuits. And so, yay for Bojangles. I will go back. But I don't know. It's just that I'm telling you all this to tell you why I haven't been online stamping. I've just been worn out and tired and whatever. And so I did come home that day, though, and I had a couple more stops to make on the way or whatever. And but I luckily got to come home and take a nap. So I was totally thrilled. And I did stop by Hobby Lobby, and I was actually trying to get some embossing powder, and but they I guess discontinued or whatever. They don't have any that I saw, like, at all. So that was a little shocking, but I guess I don't know if they're going to bring their own brand back at some point, or they're just not going to have any, or, you know, because they used to have, like, the Tim Holtz type or whatever, and but they didn't have any at all, so that's kind of wild. But I did find some black tulle, if you know what tulle is, like that, you know, swooshy stuff. And I'm going to make a nice little witch's dress for one of my upcoming cards, hopefully. So, all is well. I got a little Hobby Lobby time. I got a nap, you know. But, and then I came home, and my UTI, unfortunately, is back. So that was a bummer. And so I went down to the doctor to get some medicine and get an antibiotic, you know, whatever. And so that was fine. I had a nice experience at the doctor for a change. They did well. And I cannot get that off there. So then I went to the pharmacy, and they gave me, because I've tried lots of antibiotics or whatever for it and things, and some I can't take. And anyway, she wanted to try a different one this time. She's like, it's a broad spectrum one or whatever, but it's not one that I typically read online that is good for it, so we'll see. But I think it's called Levaquin or something. But anyway, so she thinks that will knock it out or whatever. So she gave me 10 days of that. So, and you only take one a day. So I'm like, okay, sounds good to me, whatever. And so I go to the pharmacy, and I don't, like, check it. I just glance that that's actually what I got, because I have gone to the pharmacy and got the wrong thing. And So usually they're pretty good on checking and counting and all that kind of thing. But we had a substitute pharmacist. So I get home and I happen to open the pills or whatever because I'm going to take one. And I look and it just doesn't look like 10, you know. I just kind of glance, and so then I dumped them out. I counted and there was 7. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. And then I feel like, well, they're not going to believe me because of their, you know, meticulous counting and all this stuff. But so I called, and it was almost closing time. It was like 10 minutes to go. And I said, you know, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. There's only 7 in here. I don't know. You know, the doctor said she was giving me enough for 10 days. And it says that on the outside of my package thing, quantity 10. And so it was, like I said, the pharmacist lady happened to answer the phone, not like one of the workers. And she said, oh, yeah, honey, there's 3 laying over here on the counter. Just come on back down and get them. She's like, maybe they were a different brand or something. I'm like, huh? Anyway, I was like, okay, I'll be right there. So I go down, and she doesn't say, I'm sorry for the confusion. I'm sorry I left these out. Like, nothing. She just hands them to me, and that's it. And I drive away. And they have like a little drive-through, you know. And so I'm like, wow. But I don't know. It just feels like nobody can handle their job anymore. Nobody can, like, there are so many mistakes. I used to wonder how in the world, when people talk about like getting, I don't know, like a medical instrument or something sewn up in them at the hospital or whatever, I'm like, how does that happen? Now I feel like I know how that happens. Like, everybody from fast food to pharmacy to the car place to just anything we run into. And like, there's been even more stuff. It's like, I won't go into that because I'm almost finished with my cards. But I don't know, like, how does the world go on like this? Because like, if they're making just all these minor mistakes, you know, I don't know. It's not been the greatest week. I mean, it's not been the worst week. It could be worse. I get that. And, you know, it is what it is. I've survived. Nobody's dead or anything. So, it's all good, right? But, yeah. Anyway. But I just want to tell you, I just needed a little break. And I had some time yesterday. I went to the grocery store and got the mail. That was really all I did. I just kind of zoned out and rested, and I don't know, I just don't want to keep wasting my days, I guess, before I go back to school by doing useless things that take my time when it should have been right the first time, you know. So I guess that's why I'm a little extra annoyed too. But anyway, sorry, this is a total gripe session. Stash Builder is typically fun, but anyway, I just wanted to say why I haven't been around very much. So thank you for watching and listening to me complain and whine and all that good stuff. So this I'm just going to put on another white card. I think it's okay, minus that little smudge. I may add some little jewels or gems or whatever, but I might not. So, but I do like this stamp set. I do wish I had a die cut for this big one. You know, I think that would be really cool. But that's okay. But I wanted to basically make my friend Shirley a card, and I'm way late for her birthday actually too, and my Aunt Brenda. So, and I weirdly, I don't know, those two plus one other lady out that I know that I sometimes don't actually do them sunflower cards, but I think of sunflowers when I think of them because they like brighten my world, brighten my life, and do all the, you know, whatever. So that's why I chose sunflowers this time. So I think these two are going to go to my Aunt Brienne and Shirley. And then these, I don't know, could be for anybody some point, sometime, I guess. But I wanted to make them something pretty, and I think they turned out well. So, and thankfully, both of those probably, or I don't think they do anyway, watch my channel, so they won't hear me gripe, and we'll just get to enjoy the card. It's not about them, and I wasn't griping about them anyway, so, but yeah, sometimes we don't want to put a damper on the cards, you know. So I see just a little corner right here that could use a little bit of color. Okay, oh, and right there. So thanks for watching, and tune in to next month's. Hopefully it'll be not as much whining and complaining. But, and be sure and check out Misty's video. I actually really enjoy her cards this time, totally. So be sure and check out her video below. And I will talk to you guys later. Have a great week. Bye, y'all.